Howdy, mates. Good evening. Here's a part 2 film. We're over at the Illiniwinek Forest Preserve, which is just past the Mississippi River, heading into Illinois, or as I like to sometimes say it, Illinois. Just because, some of the well-known first European explorers were from France. Anyway, welcome to what we know as a deciduous forest, which mostly is full of maples, noticeably. Whether it is silver maple, sugar, or even red. But there does seem to be quite a prevalence of sugar maple out here. They're very well known for producing the yellow pigment in the leaves. Now, as I've mentioned before in past films, is these other pigments that you're seeing within the leaves, they're always present. It's just when it is during the spring and summer, it just so happens that chlorophyll has more dominance. Chlorophyll is what produces the green pigment in leaves. And it's through chlorophyll within the chloroplast in the thylakoid membranes as to where photosynthesis occurs. Now, of course, we do know that photosynthesis is primarily responsible for creating, or I shouldn't say create, but it's more of like a recycle process more than anything. So, as always, photosynthesis is really broken up into two different parts, which include light dependent and light independent, which is also known as the Kelvin cycle. Now, there is quite a bit of chemistry that is involved in both processes, but it's really the light dependent reactions which involve the use of sunlight. That energy is converted into a form of ATP, which is also known as adenosine triphosphate. And essentially what happens during this process is, with energy, there's a lot going on. And the carbon that is present within the chloroplast, it will join among other molecules. A great example is rubisco, which is short for a very long name. But what you need to know is, oh boy, I thought I heard someone stumbling behind me. But what you need to know is during these chain reactions, you get a result of having enough chains to create glucose, which is C6H12O6. That is the chemical composition. And you figure, since that carbon is being used to make glucose as a form of sugar, Remember when I mentioned about carbon dioxide just a little bit ago? Well, that's when it ties in to the fact that since the carbon is now being used towards the production of glucose, you have oxygen as a byproduct. O2. Pretty darn cool, huh? So, essentially, what I'm trying to say is, through oxygen that is produced from the light-dependent reaction, whereas the glucose, on the other hand, is dependent, or the glucose is made from the light-independent reaction. So, however, though, during this time of year, photosynthesis is no longer prevalent. And, of course, throughout the year, when we had our leaves, they were allowing enough oxygen to be created. But, of course, it always seems that our photosynthetic algae doesn't always get the recognition it deserves either. So, let's just say it is through photosynthesis is what really allows life to essentially remain possible. One of many. But photosynthesis is a very big one. Alright, you guys. Have a good one. Take care. And of course, Journey on a Journey is onwards. See you later.